Welcome to the New Fly Fisher. I'm Jenna McKeown.
I'm Colin McKeown, and in this episode, it's all about catching smallmouth bass or trout using different types of fly lines. We're at Birchland Cottages in Northern Ontario, and we're actually targeting smallmouth bass. But Jen and I are going to be using different types of fly lines, from floating lines to sinking lines, and we're going to explain the different types of fly lines and their uses.
It's going to be a great technical show, and I know you're going to love it, so stay with us.
The new fly fisher has been made possible thanks to Algoma Country, GoFishingOntario.com, Orvis Sporting Traditions, Rio Products, Superfly, fly fishing made easy.
Though I love flying destinations, it's also great to find drive-to locations that offer quality fly fishing for trophy-sized fish. In Northern Ontario, there are many of these locations, and one of my favorites is located in Algoma Country. Birchland Cottages is literally on the side of the Trans-Canada Highway, less than 2 hours from Sault Ste. Marie and the US-Canada border. Birchland Cottages is well known by people who want a summertime vacation, but few anglers know that this is also a trophy smallmouth bass destination. The cottages are on the banks of Clear Lake, which takes its name from the fact you can literally see down 10 to 12 feet on a sunny day. During the months of May through to July, and then in September and October, this lake and other lakes in the region are prime locations for catching some massive bass. We're talking average fish of 3 to 4 pounds, with many 5 and 6 pounders available on a fly. My biggest fish here was just under 7 pounds. On a fly rod, these smallmouth bass are amazing fighters, which is why I was so excited to stop by at Birchland Cottages for a few days of early season fishing. Unfortunately, the day before I arrived, cold weather had pushed through, dropping water temperatures a few degrees. But that didn't deter me, as I launched my boat, grabbed my gear for a day on the water. After casting a topwater popper for a few minutes, it was obvious I needed to go down in the water column with a streamer to find active fish. This is where having different fly lines can really help you effectively fish a lake. Right now I'm using a full sinking line, a type 3. It's perfect conditions. I'm fishing 8 to 10 feet, getting that fly down near the bottom, counting it down, perfect. Well, there's other types of fly lines, whether it's for bass fishing, trout fishing, steelhead, whatever. There's different types of fly lines you should consider putting in your toolbox so you can get your fly down to where the fish are and have a good presentation. Have a look at this. Most lake fly fishers will bring a variety of fly lines to help them probe various parts of the water column. A hover line is perfect for fishing down to 3 or 4 feet with a sink rate of approximately 1 inch per second. An intermediate fly line, which has a very slow sink rate of 1.5 to 2 inches per second, is perfect for fishing the 4 to 8 foot depths. I really like using this line when I'm using a slower retrieve. A full sinking line is ideal for fishing 8 to 12 feet of water in a Type 3 to Type 6. This rating equates to a sink rate of 3 to 6 inches per second, which is fairly fast and is good for retrieving flies in deeper water. Everyone has their preference based on experience and input from others. The key for anglers is to have a variety of fly lines available to help you effectively fish all parts of the water column at different retrieve rates.
So right now I'm in about 8 feet of water. I've got a point coming out here and a big flat. Just spotted a bunch of beds. Now over the last hour I've been checking the different parts of the lake, and I'm seeing cruising bass, especially on dark water. I've been casting different streamers. I've got a nice little Murtich minnow one here. This is a brown and white one. And usually I absolutely clobber them with it. But all they're doing is following. They're not taking. It's gotta have to do with the water temperature right now, where they're interested, they're active, but they're not hungry enough to chase and kill. So one of the things I learned from the stillwater people is about using your full sinking lines, a 3 to 4 foot leader, which is approximately what I've got on right now. And what to this leader, what I attach is either a dragonfly nymph like this, which is made of deer's hair, which will float. And what I'm going to do is cast this out, let it sink all the way down, and that 3 or 4 foot of leader I have, it's about 10-pound tippet, that's going to float this fly up. I'll even treat it. And then I strip it back real slow. Well, this is too tempting. They're looking for dragonflies, and they'll grab this. If you don't have those in your fly box, another option, one I found works really well because it also resembles a bait fish and is fairly well known, and that's the muddler minnow. Again, it's got the deer hair head, which allows it to float. And it puts it in that 1.5 foot zone, and it's small, moving slowly, kicking along. It's just too tempting. It's like that chocolate mint after a big meal. Even if you're full, you just can't resist it. So put this on, give it a try, let's see if it works.
Well, you know the fishing is hard when you can't figure it out and the cameraman starts to make fun of you.
Whatever you gotta do to stop sucking.
Time to call it quits and go back to the cottage for a cold one, or get a new cameraman who isn't so sassy. The next day, conditions change and the big fish are finally on.
This feels like a good one. How about that? Beauty.
The next day, I woke up to bright and sunny skies with warmer temperatures. A good sleep in my comfy cottage and a cup of coffee. Perhaps today would be a better day. I had invited my friend Rob LaRue from the Algoma Tourism Office to join me for the day. Though Rob is not yet a fly fisher, he loves catching big smallmouth bass on light spinning gear. Let's hope he brings some luck to the boat today.
You gotta like it, Rob. First cast, and I'm into a bass, and it looks like a male. And what I had to start with, Rob's using a paddle tail, and I'm throwing what they call Frank Smelt. But I said to him, let's throw out, go slow, and see what type of activity level the bass are at. Water temperature here is about 57, 58 degrees Fahrenheit, which is warming up. It was 48 of it only a week ago, but it's still cold. These bass are thinking about spawning, but they're not. They're in feeding mode. And they really don't want to go and, that's a nice female actually. Get over here. Nice, fat, fresh. Look how clean that fish is, beautiful. There go. So they're not going to be spawning until 63, 64 degrees. We're keeping away from any beds. We're staying out in the deeper water. Right now we're in about 6 feet to 8 feet. And I think they're gonna be on these edges here, cruising around looking for easy meals because they're trying to get some food on before they spawn. And then post-spawn, the females really go on a feeding bench. Okay. Okay, Rob, I think what we'll do is we're gonna pull the anchor, move down here a couple 100 feet and work another area. Because the bass, they're scattered, they're feeding, but they're moving around on this 4 to 8 foot depth. I would say the average is probably 6 feet. So what you have to do is you don't just pound a place. You're better just to move, go down the lake, and keep looking for what I would call active players.
That sounds good.
The rod tip is the position here.
Okay.
You keep tight to it because it's dropping. Okay, now you know it's on the bottom. There was a hit right there. Now it could be weed, and that's sometimes what it is, but you're doing this. And then the other one is big cast and just do this, like this slow roll.
Okay.
See how that fish, that tail's going through there?
Yeah.
And you might get a whack, okay?
Yeah.
Look at him, buddy. That was a big hit. There we go, big bass. Oh yeah. This feels like a good one. This is what we've been looking for, is the big bass that are in the lakes here in this region. And you know, the funny part is, I said it's a big one. It's not that big, but it's really strong. And I think can't tell if it's a male or female, but it's not as big as I thought, but it's the cold water. They're fighting so well right now. He just hammered that fly. All right. Would you mind netting this for me, Rob?
Yep. Sure.
Okay, I'll bring the head up here. So I'll lead it by the head in, Rob. Once I get him up, there we go. There we go, thanks. All right. So we found the pattern here today, and that is a male, beautiful fish. I'll let this one go. Side here. Ready to go. And the pattern that's working, it's a little mangled right now. Rob's using a paddle tail, which works really well. He just had a fish on and lost it. Is this Smelt, Frank's Smelt. And it works really well because it's getting near the bottom. I'm bouncing along with my rod tip and an intermediate line. And that's where intermediates are great. We're fishing about 3 feet out to 6, and the fish are somewhere in there. And an intermediate's the perfect line with a fly rod and a weighted fly or a not weighted fly to get into the zone where the fish are. You always gotta bring your fly to the boat or your lure, and when you're lifting it, I can't tell you how many fish I've hooked as the fly is lifting up, because you don't see it. There's a fish following, and as it goes up, it thinks it's getting away and it grabs it. Little tip, which really helps a lot, to get more fish, have more success. Doesn't matter if it's trout or it's bass. That's a big bass, Rob. That's what we've been looking for.
Hello.
Okay. Okay, just take your time. There you go. Whoa! Now that's a good solid 4 pounds, maybe 5. Robert, well done. How about that? All right, Rob, you got one?
I believe so.
Any size to him? That's not a bad one. Good job. It's just like fish after fish. We figured out the pattern here, Rob. Oh, that's a nice fat one. Let me get the net for you.
Oh.
Still got him there?
Yeah.
Okay. So just keep him there. Well, that's a really heavy one, Rob. And just lead him by the head. There you go. Oh, that's actually a big fish, Rob. That's another, I'd say it's a good 3.5-er, 4. Wow, look at that.
He gave me a little kiss before he went.
Well done, buddy.
The fishing was insane, but suddenly storm clouds appeared, air temperatures dropped, and we heard thunder. Time to get off the water. Even the bass bite had stopped. Best to get indoors, drink some coffee by the fire, and watch the rain fall. Birchland Cottages is located in a region of northern Ontario that is quickly becoming famous for the quantity and size of smallmouth bass. My daughter Jenna and I returned to Birchland Cottages less than 2 weeks after my initial visit to Clear Lake. In that time, the water temperatures had come up a few degrees, and did it ever change the fishing? My daughter was about to put on a clinic for her father on how to catch smallmouth bass with poppers. While I cast a streamer fly on an intermediate fly line with only a few follows and no action, it seemed Jenna was dialed into what the bass were looking for. Time for Daddy to switch it up and get with the program. Some bass would tease Jenna, circling underneath her fly, looking, considering, but then turning away. However, on the next cast, a solid take.
Man, they fight well.
So what happened was we were just coming in towards shore, and we were going to cast into some structure here. You can see on my left, I saw bass over by that timber, came up, missed the fly. We backed out to rest it, and all of a sudden I see a bass come up, take something up. Oh, there you go, got him up.
Almost.
Took something, and this, I thought it wasn't that big, but it's actually a big tank. Look at it. Yeah, bring it in. Oh, got it.
Thanks, Dad. The colors on this fish are beautiful, too.
Yep. Yeah, beautiful. It's easily 18 to 19 inches. And they're liking that yellow popper today, Jenna. All right?
Thanks, Dad.
No problem, sweetheart. So, fish right here. And we saw it feeding on the surface. So we backed away and backed away. Jenna made 2 casts. First cast, nothing. Then she cast a little bit to the right of where we saw it come up. Took it. But that fish was feeding. And what we're seeing, there are some insects on the water, there's some shucks, but what we're seeing is, I'm seeing a lot of dragonflies on the surface that obviously the cool morning may have knocked some of them down, killed them, injured them, weakened them, but they're on the water, and these bass are in here in this bay, and they're out deeper, 6 feet to 8 feet. She's getting them with top water, but I'm willing to bet you, as the sun goes up here, we'll need to go with an intermediate or a sink tip, or even a ghost tip, and use different flies to get these bass. And that's the thing you have to have, is versatility from top all the way to bottom to catch bass, trout, or whatever species you're looking for. You need to use the fly lines to get those fish. All right, Jenna, doing really well. Let's roll them up. Let's go change to new and happier hunting grounds.
Okay.
Whoa, that was a take, Jenna.
I know.
And there's a
My
bigger
fly.
bass that was underneath
Cruising
this fish. I
around.
don't see it anymore. There he is.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a bigger one
Cruising
right
around.
beside. Wow. Okay, head up. I love the way, and
Oh, are you
this is
ready?
the way you like to do it, Jenna. Oh, you just hammered that popper. Oh, nice.
My fly had barely touched the water.
And what we're doing here is there are some spawning beds. They're finished spawning, but they're they're all done, and we're fishing the deeper water edges and finding beautiful fish like that. I love the red eye on these bass. They don't all have it. Put them in the water. I always like to let them sit for a second. Oh, he was ready to go. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Dad.
And I think I better start getting into some fish because she's seriously kicking my butt.
There we go. Bring him up to the boat for you, Dad. Got it? Oh, that was nice. Oh, it's so cool because all the bass here have red eyes, which I haven't seen before. And it makes them all that more beautiful. And look at the coloring on that fish. It's gorgeous.
Well, the fishing on top continued to be good, and Jenna really cleaned up, catching one big bass after another. After a while, the bite ended, and we headed back to our cottage for supper. It was a great day spent together as father and daughter.
Well, we hope you enjoyed today's show and learned more about the different types of fly line you can use to explore the water column effectively.
For more about Birchland Cottages and some of the smallmouth bass fishing here in Northern Ontario, go to our website, thenewflyfisher.com. From Jenna and I, thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the water.
The New Fly Fisher has been made possible thanks to Algoma Country, GoFishingOntario.com, Orvis Sporting Traditions, Rio Products, Superfly, fly fishing made easy.